Hi guys, Rachel with Spunky Misfit Girl here. So I promised you this video on making these coin style envelopes with the wax seals on them. And like I said before, this one is the only one I've made, so it'll be a little bit of a figure it out as we go. I watched Cara-Renee's tutorial, struggled to follow it a little bit. She was a little frazzled because she tried filming it once already and then lost it. And I know how that goes. I hate it. It's the worst thing. I'm going to I kind of made it up a little bit on my own as I go. You know, I mean, if you understand the basic structure of an envelope, you can kind of put that together for yourself. And, you know, it's not going to come out perfect necessarily, but that's okay. That's, you know, we're here to figure stuff out and have fun making things. So I showed you guys in the last video how to print on vellum, and I have a bunch of different sheets here that I'm going to use. My Gothy Roses one kind of didn't print all the way, so I've cut it down. And I've got my wax kind of getting ready to go, getting heated up. I use just a regular old candle and a little wax melting stove and wax melting spoon for this. I don't usually pour the wax directly onto my project. I usually pour onto silicone mat or onto my granite countertops because I find that makes them look nicer. But I kind of liked the look of the string inside of the wax on these, the way that Cara-Renee did them. So I'm going to try some of that and maybe try some of just using the beautiful, more circular ones that I have too, that I've made on silicone. But I've got that going so that we can try it out later in the video. So I'm going to work with this paper first, I think. And basically, I think the height on this, I'm just trying to think. I'm putting this into the Gothic journal that I've got in progress. I think I want to make it a little bit shorter, maybe. I'm just going to cut it down a wee bit so that it's probably going to be about the same size as this one. And that's kind of a good like tag size. You can slide a tag in there nicely. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is kind of find whereabouts we want our lengthwise closure to be. And I actually think this is going to be too wide too. So I'm just kind of gauging, you know, what do I want my front to look like? I really want more of this orangey flower on there. Yeah, so I think I'm going to cut it off. I'm going to fold them like this. And then I want that. Actually, I'm going to go a little bit more than that even. And that's going to make it's going to give me a fold where I don't want it. This is exactly what I struggled with in her tutorial too, and I think all right, because there's a little bit of guessing, you know, it's just not an exact science. So yeah, I think we'll live with it where it is there and go. Is that wide enough? That's not wide enough. There we go. No, I'm not creasing these yet so that I can just get myself the size that I want. There we go. And then I'm going to trim off the extra so that the flap ends here. And I have no utensils somehow again. All right, so I'm gonna give it to about here. And trim that, and that's gonna make my basic envelope shape. Just like that. Okay. So then we're gonna want our little flap on the bottom. To come up about like that. And we're gonna be able to cut off so you see how we have these corners, we're gonna cut those off. You don't need them. And then you can handle your flap however you like. I like the way it looks. Have it angled. And it folds just a little better. So I'm gonna just give it a cut and round it off. What just occurred to me is that I could try punching these with my corner punchers. I don't know how well that works with vellum. But it is maybe an option. There, and that's your bottom flap for your envelope. And now we're gonna do the same thing. Make our top flap just a little bigger. Give that guy a burnish. And same deal with cutting out our corners. And I am gonna put my wax in so that it melts. Actually, I'm gonna burnish these now too because they're a little flappy. Okay, that is looking good. Ooh, I like that. I really like how that turned out with the rose on the front. That's cool. All right, so let's give this guy a little bit of a rounded edges as well. And I'm just eyeballing how that looks. Doesn't need to be perfect. Probably not going to be perfect because I'm not a perfect cutter. But it looks nice. And there's my envelope. I'm going to put my wax in to melt here. And I was just watching a tutorial last night from somebody who edits out her inking. I know a lot of people do this. They edit out their inking. I really don't like to edit videos. I'm not very good at it. It takes forever. It's not my joy. I prefer to be making things. And I also don't mind tutorials where other people are inking on screen. I find it, I'm generally making something myself when I'm watching your tutorial anyway. So if you want to ink on screen and just like, God, I forgot who it was, what her name was now. Julie, I think, having a waffle, having a moan on her video while she inks or while she makes something. I like those style of videos. So you'll find that I generally do some inking on screen. So if you find it obnoxious, you can always hit the little arrow button to make me go forward a little faster so you can get to the stuff that you want to see and not have to watch the inking. But I do find the ink on Vellum really nice. I want to get a good bit of that on there. And I'm using Walnut Steam, Tim Holtz Distress Oxide for this. And that's the other thing, you know, when I was a newbie and had never done any of this before, I watched a tutorial where she talked about inking, but she didn't show it. And I really didn't know what she meant. I had to go find out. All right, so there's that. Let's glue our envelope together here. Just get us, I'm just gonna do a line here. And I'm using Fabri-Tac for this. And I'm just gonna glue my bottom as well. Oh, I'm really liking these. All right, and so now we're gonna take, this is what I use to sew my journals, the thread for the sewing the signatures. It's beeswax, or I don't know, polyester flat wax thread. And I like this look of this on the outside of the envelope like that. So I'm gonna just take a few times around and maybe figure out some other way to do this. And my wax is melted, so I've gotta, I'm gonna get this guy on here like this. Hopefully he can come around one more time. And I made the mistake on the last one of not moving those, both those ties. Just gonna tie a little knot. And then again, this is ending up kind of to the side, and I like that. A little fiddling with that. I didn't pull this down so that they would both go down, which is what I want. All right, so here we go. So we're gonna try, I have this Moon and Stars wax seal. And my wax is all melted over here, over its little candle. And we're gonna try dumping that right on here. In as nice of a little circle as I can get it. Ooh, this is nice wax. Really, really beautiful. And then put this guy on there, just like that. And I have high hopes for that to come out really nice, you guys. So let's put another set of those in there and do another. I'm gonna move this guy just like this. You just want to let that sit for a little bit. Now this guy is gonna be more of a challenge because I want this on the front. So let's see how we can do that. So I want it shorter. I do want it shorter too. So, in case you couldn't follow that last one, I'm just making the side flap of my envelope here. And then I'm going to gauge about how big I want this to be. Maybe like this. Yeah. We're going to go like that. And then we're going to cut. Flap's not going to be in the middle. It's not centered. Oh well. Cut them off here. You know, you probably could be a lot more precise about this and get exactly what you want, exactly where you want it by measuring and just being a lot more math driven about this. I'm a fan of just doing it this way. All right, so I'm going to do the little bottom flap about that big. Give that a burnish, and I'm going to do the top flap about this big. I'm going to have to find something to do with this. I don't even know. That one can go in the Gothic journal because it's... But this one, I don't know. Opening it back up, and this is good because this is where my sticky spot is from the glue from printing this guy, and it's giving me trouble. So I can get rid of it. Just cutting out all my four corners to make my flaps. And I'm going to burnish these. Tend not to fold well unless I burnish them really well. So then I'm going to cut my rounded edges again. So I do like that look on those. Ooh, this is going to be a pretty one. Ooh, this guy's got a little extra here, so we're going to just cut that off. Let me fold. Works properly. Maybe this guy too. Vellum is certainly not my favorite material to work with. It's a little fussy. All right. There's number 2. It's very pretty. Great kit from the journal boat. Very French vintage kind of feel to it. Now, let's take a look over here and see how this guy turned out. I really like that. I don't know how I feel about that purple ink on the vellum, though. I kind of liked this. I don't know. I thought it was a brown, but it actually looks a little more pink. I think I might try and see what else I have here. This one was that looks a little more brown, but let's try that. It's gonna mix with the purple for this one, and it might be kind of ugly, but let's try it out. maybe the purple will give it a nice, unexpected color streak. Trying to keep the pace moving along here too a little so this video doesn't get super long. Just ink this guy up. Get those edges. Pretty edges. Do have to make more wax seals today too, so it's actually good that I fired this guy up. Have a second one that I'm gonna get going as well. Make a bunch. Include them as products in my booth at Crafters Convention. You can get sets or you can get one-offs. I've got some that I painted, but it's really tedious to paint them, and the paint marker that I use is very, very fumey, so I'm not a huge fan of that. I'll glue this guy down here. Uh-oh, I think I might have gotten that over the edge on the inside. That's no good. And your bottom. Ooh, I'm really liking these, you guys. Look at my weird, ooh, my brown wax doesn't want to mix with my purple. Doing some very weird things here. So I use my little tweezers to, whoa. There, that'll look a little better. Okay, let's put our string on here. And actually, I don't know. I'm not loving how this is either. I think I might make a bow on this one. See if I can do, that might be not long enough. Oh, very, very fiddly. All right, let's experiment. What do we want to use? You know what? I have a hot air balloon one. Didn't think I was going to use it for this video, so I didn't put it on a handle. Let's do that. Like I said too, if you want a more perfect circle, you can do this. Just don't do it straight on here. Do it on your countertop or your silicone mat or wherever you normally make your wax seals, and you'll be able to get a more perfect circle. If you like the messy look, this works. I'm kind of liking it the way it's come out on these. So I'm just going to give that a second. And those are your vellum coin envelopes with wax seals. Absolutely feel free to ask any questions. If there's some part of this that was confusing, let me know. Happy to have a chat. I don't want to take that off too soon. But it's the last bit of the video. We're at 26 minutes now. Just give that a sec. Doesn't take too long. Woo! I didn't look to see the direction, but I really like how that color turned out. That's a great color on this. It's very brown. I do wish I would have turned it to be right side up, but that's okay. It's fun. It's whimsical, right? Okay, I'm very pleased with how these turned out, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe.